Hello, gentle viewers. This is Indian, welcoming you back to Out of the Park Baseball 22 with the Pittsburgh Pirates. Before we get started today, a very quick shout out to, I believe it was Tom Lehman in the comments, who brought up something I keep forgetting about, which is, do we want to actually play some of the games? And I go back and forth on this. And the reason that I do is because it's going to make the videos longer. Now, maybe for y'all, you don't really care. And if you don't, that's great. But for our purposes, I'm always hesitant to do it. But I will be willing to listen to y'all if you have suggestions about that. So for today's video, please make sure you post in the comments. Do you want to start seeing me play some of the games? Especially as Tom had suggested, if I do them during elimination games. I'm going back and forth myself. I think it would be cool to do it every once in a while. I don't think it would have made a difference in this last series because, you know, there's little you can do tactically if your starting pitching just fails. There's always some bad decisions that the AI made, and I acknowledge that, but at the end of the day, it really comes down to, what you call it. It really comes down to luck. One other thing I wanted to, again, thank someone about is I thought this changed instantly, but it doesn't. Which makes sense because team chemistry doesn't change instantly. But we are going to need to get a new hitting coach. That is for sure. I think that's all I wanted to talk about before we started playing today. Other than to make one minor recommendation, I doubt anyone from OOTP is watching it, but in case you are, please give us a postseason strategy section that only applies to the postseason. Because I don't really want to have to jiggle with this just because the postseason starts. I think that'll be really helpful. That's just me, though. Okay. So, we need a new hitting coach. And Kevin Hooper looks pretty decent. I certainly wouldn't mind keeping him as promoting him as our hitting coach. However, we also kind of want to help cohesion, which means the one thing we could really use is someone who's temperamental. And this is who our assistant GM is recommending, so we'll take a look at them in a minute. But I just wanted to make sure we didn't have anyone already on staff who might make a good choice. Let's look at Kevin Dixon. Dixon would be a great pitching coach if I needed one. But it doesn't really look like he'd make a great hitting coach. So if I needed to replace, say, Ray King, I think he would be my first choice. Okay, fine. Let's look at Jonathan Johnston. We have someone who'd make an okay hitting coach. And he does want to be promoted. But I don't think it makes sense to promote him yet. I just don't think he's a good enough hitting coach in order for me to put him up at the major league level. I would probably make him like a base coach before I'd make him a hitting coach. Are either of our base coaches brilliant hitting coaches? Not for Bird, and definitely not for Gonzalez. Okay, fine. So we don't really have an internal promotion here to make someone a hitting coach. So we're going to start looking outside. So Ben Sharington really likes the idea of picking up Alexander Ayala. And I disagree. I really disagree with that. I'm not saying he couldn't be a good coach. I just don't think he's a good fit for this team. He's only a good in hitting. And he's okay at development. But I really like someone who's also good at mechanics. Unless, is mechanics only for pitching? Let's take a look here. I realize you can't see what I'm... I don't think you can see what I'm showing right now. So I'm just going to go ahead and pause, and I'm going to look it up, and I'll be right back. I am back, friends. So, I did some research, both in the manual and on the forums, and OOTP is quite deliberately not saying what everything affects, which I think makes great sense. I don't object to that at all. The other thing that they bring up, which is more important, is that somebody said that someone who's really great with mechanics has a chance of getting a TCR change, which is talent change randomness, in the positive direction. So basically, someone who's really good at handling mechanics might see a big jump. Theoretically. So, all that said, I still don't think Gael is a good fit, because I do want someone who can help us with that. We want someone who can be the very best possible hitting coach that we can run across. Let's look at Vicmal de la Cruz. Absolutely not. I'm seeing a lot of people that don't really impress me. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to start checking for things. And we're going to add a filter. And we're looking for personality and we're looking for temperamental. And we're going to go to teach hitting. And I like Rooney Davis a lot, actually. He's currently my favorite. So the question is, do we want someone who can help us get the most out of our players, i.e. legendary development, or someone who can take scrubs and turn them into stars? So, at the end of the day, the fact that Davis is just a better teacher leads me to select him as our hitting coach. He's also 44, which means he'll be here for a while. I think this is great. I think he's exactly what we're looking for. I'm not going to dither about this any longer. Done. And I'm also pretty sure he's going to accept, because who doesn't want a major league job, right? And there we go. And well, it still says that we're feuding, but that I think will change as the season progresses. Okay. So, let's actually talk about what needs to happen this offseason. There's no reason we can't bring this lineup back. As is, with no changes. It was the third best in the majors. It went really, really well for the most part. I'm good with bringing this lineup back. The big change is going to be losing Jimenez. I can't do anything about that, unfortunately, because he just wants too much money. And I'm not going to commit that much money to a 33-year-old center fielder who gets hurt all the time. He's been great when he's been healthy. I just think he's a bad risk to bring back for any amount of money. Would Caleb Hampton be okay? He might be. But he's also several $1 million cheaper, and that's the important thing right now. Our biggest problem in the postseason was we didn't have that top-tier big game starter who could take over a series. And those don't grow on trees either. So we're going to have to consider that as well this offseason. I also would not object to upgrading at second base. I think Kazono is fine for what he does. But I think we're going to be somewhat limited as long as he is on the team. What we're really missing right now is a great leadoff type. if we take a look at our batting ratings, only two players have above average eyes, and they're our number 3 and number 4 hitter. We need someone with good contact and excellent batting eye atop our order. Because when your 1 and 2 hitters have on base percentages of 326 and 313, yeah, that's not good. I mean, and not one of them was even healthy for most of the season, but for even temporarily being in the leadoff spot and only getting 30 runs scored, it definitely tells me that they're not getting on base. So that's what that would be my number 1 wish list item. And hell, maybe we'll find a great center fielder who could also be an outstanding leadoff guy. That would be the hope. So let's talk about whose contract is up or who wants to get a big raise. First of all, Romo, absolutely. I'm not going to hesitate. I'll even give you your extra $1 million or so. Done. Nate Hyde has been an incredibly useful performer. He gives us tons of quality innings. He does really well at his job. He's not a starter. We tried that. It didn't work. Are we getting to the point where spending that much money for a reliever is worth it? Especially somebody who another team would probably make a starter, which means he's probably got a pretty decent trade network. I'll think about that. Victor Medeiros had a pretty good first year with us. I'm not gonna deny him his salary upgrade. Dude, I'm not making you a starter. You're borderline as a starter, and I just think you're better as a reliever for us. So that's going to be your job. Ollie Sanchez, we brought in toward the end of the season to replace Zion Rose. He played pretty darn good defense, and he hit better than Rose has the last few seasons. He's getting a pretty decent-sized bump, but I'm not going to argue with him. I think, again, he's worth it a lot, and we're going to bring him back. These two we'll come back to in a second, because they're going to set the tone for everything else. Next, Gilberto Jimenez. He wants $17 million a year, and he's not going to get that from me. It's not happening. The question is, do we offer him a qualifying offer? And I think the answer to that question is an emphatic no. If I could stare into the future and predict for sure if he was going to decline it, I'd love the draft pick. I would have to be absolutely mental to think for even a tenth of a second. Because if he accepted that, that would basically screw our team. So no, I'm not going to offer him the deal. Do I want to bring back Lejeune Acutis? He doesn't want much money to come back. And he's still normal in terms of injury proneness. I don't think we can afford to lose a decent starter like Acutis might be. So I'm very close to bringing him back. I guess the problem is, who would he be taking anybody's spot? And I don't think he would be. I don't have any major league ready starters. And yeah, okay, we're gonna get Matos and we're gonna get Whitney back hopefully. Sure. But as we saw last season, you can't really have too few starters. And he's one of the only guys we've got that actually handles movement well. So I think I will go ahead and give him a new deal. But I'm going to change it I'm going to add a team option. Because I want out of this contract if it turns out he's not helpful for me anymore. So I will happily bring him back. Kirilov, I only brought you back because my manager made me do it. I'm not signing you for even a penny. Big performers in the minors get rewarded with minor league extensions. I don't see anyone with 2 or more wins, though. Oh, nope, tell a lie. Welcome back, sir. Alright. Gracia and Gunnels. But before we make those decisions, I want to at least kick the tires on trading Nate Hyde. I know he won 12 bloody wins for us, which for a non-starter is pretty crazy, and he's been very effective. This is just an attempt to see what kind of market there is for him. And if I'm not getting a good return, I'm not going to trade him, but I just want to kick the tires on him to see. I'll even look at regulars. I just want to see what quality of player is being offered to me in exchange. I'm getting a lot of people, which is a good start. And just so I have less to sort through, let's go ahead and look at all batters. Because that's really what I'm looking for. I will happily trade Hyde for the right upgrade. Let's start with Andy Dyer. A good all-around outfielder. I don't think he could be the entire package, but I wouldn't object to having a player like Andy Dyer. So that's a potential maybe. Michael Hernandez would be someone I would consider if I didn't already have Kazono. You can't play and worry about left. That makes you of minimal use to me. You're good at hitting for contact. You're fast. You're a good center fielder. I wish you were a little bit better at drawing walks, because one thing we have to keep in mind is that his offensive track record is going to look better because he plays in Colorado. But I don't dislike him at all. I might actually consider that. But let's keep looking. He's also happens to make the Major League minimum, which makes him an even better choice. Hey, John Demers, no. So, here is my question. If we acquire Chad Moore for Nate Hyde, I think we are filling an important spot on our roster. But the question is, how much are we losing if we give up Nate Hyde? And that's a very important consideration, because he was a phenomenal relief pitcher. On the flip side, he is getting more expensive, and is a rubber-armed relief pitcher that valuable that I'd want to keep him, even if I never have any intention of starting him ever again. Especially if there might be like a great center fielder on the free agent market. This is tricky. This is really tricky. I guess I could see if I could get something else out of the Rockies. Like, one up, I don't think I can make this deal. He's fine. Against either hand. I need to get more out of this trade, I think, if I'm going to make it. A guy like Jerry Rogers would be an excellent addition. I really like you. He'd want more. Okay. Yeah, you're basically wanting people I don't want to give up to sweeten this pot. I really don't think I can make this trade. Here's what I think we do. I'm going to punt this because if he's available now, I bet he'll be available later on in the offseason. And it's not like Hyde is asking for a massive raise. I'm just going to go ahead and sign him to a new one-year deal. And then, worst case scenario, oh no, I bring back an incredibly important contributor in the bullpen. Knowing what the market is for him convinces me that if I do want to trade someone, I can. Alright, now let's talk to Gunnels. If I was ever going to pay anybody the millions of dollars he's requesting, it's going to be him. He's been a rock-solid contributor in all facets of the game now for a couple of years. I don't know why you keep putting him in the infield. That's not his job. I don't want it to be his job, but I guess it's fine. If I'm going to get a Hall of Famer, it's probably him. I think he's probably the furthest along to the point where he might be considered once he's eligible. I desperately want to sign him long term. Because it's only going to get more and more expensive. And God help us if he makes it to free agency. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to offer him a 5-year deal. I'm going to give him a couple million X each year. This is what I'm going to offer to him. And here's what this gives us. It gives us 5 years. It gives us cost certainty, so I can start planning long term. And it makes sure that we don't lose him in free agency. Because I'm terrified of him hitting free agency when he's going to start asking like $40 million a year. At which point, I'm just going to have to say no. So let's see what he thinks of this deal. He'll probably reject it, but I'm going to see if he does. He would take it. I think it has to be done. I cannot let him walk. So I'm going to submit that offer. So this then tells me, can I re-sign Gracia? And I think I can. I know that I can. And I'm not going to fuck around with him either. I'm just going to offer him the $6 million. I wouldn't object to signing him long term, but I want to make sure he's more of a proven commodity before I do that. Okay. Come on, Gunnell. Sign, damn it. Oh, right. I've got to pull people off the DL, don't I? Do I not have enough spots? I don't. Okay. Well, Mr. Bailey Thorne, thank you for your service. Oh, I need to clear off 2 more 40-man spots. I'm just going to release Kirilov. I mean, I'm not going to re-sign him. There's no downside. And you know what? I'm going to hide them. No, actually, I've got enough spots now. I was actually going to cut what's-his-face too, but that's fine. We got a special news story about negotiating our extension with Gunnels. Ben Sharington wants to be a general manager. And I'm going to tell you something here. I like Ben Sharington. I do. But this is a chance to hire a new general manager. And I wouldn't be shocked at all to see if he's a big piece of the puzzle here. So I'm not going to stand in his way anymore. I'm going to go ahead and let him walk if he wants to get signed by someone else. We got Medeiros. Boom. Congratulations, Detroit. I hope you enjoy him. Now we're going to sign a new assistant GM. We want someone that's temperamental. No. I could bring in Dayton Moore. I mean, of the two of these, I'd probably rather have Joyce. But it's not really clear to me what assistant GMs even do. Yeah, I'm going to offer Sergio Joyce a job as my assistant. Who is he currently general managing? Oh, he's in the Indies. He probably would love a promotion to the majors then, so come along, Mr. Joyce. I wish him well. Who got a gold glove? Jordan Walker did. Very nice. None of you really fill me with delight, if I'm being honest. I'm really excited about Gunnels, by the way. I think that's going to be huge. Ramon Gonzalez got reliever of the year. Didn't he get that last year too? No, he didn't. Okay. Silver Slugger for Gunnels and Gracia. And even Tian, although that's not really saying much. I wonder if we're going to get another... A Hall of Fame voting starts. That's pretty exciting. Let's do it. All right. I'm going to start at the bottom and work my way up just for something different. Ichiro better get in this year. I'm just going to say, he better get in. Or I will have words, my friend. We've got a lot of players who had short careers, and unless you're like a Pedro Martinez style peak, it's hard for me to vote for that. Arenado wouldn't be an awful choice. Like, he's not the greatest, but he had a decently long career, a good few home runs, and he played his position very well. So I think I will actually vote for Arenado. That might actually be it, though. I'm not really seeing a ton of players here who really do much for me. Garrett Cole didn't even break 2,000 innings. He barely broke 2,000 Ks. I'd vote for Bumgarner before I vote for Cole. So I think I will, actually. Yeah, I'm not really seeing too many people here that get me excited. King Felix, maybe. So one of our biggest issues is going to be win totals. We're just not going to have a lot of pitchers with high win totals. And I think that the in-game voting should account for that. Because you're not going to see 300 game winners anymore. It's just not going to happen with the current Major League environment. I will vote for Felix and for John Lester. I'll vote for Yadier Molina. I think I'm giving up on Buster Posey. I don't think he's going to make it. I think David Price deserves consideration. This is mostly, to be honest with you, this is just me mostly picking people who I think have at least a shot. Chris Sales. Corey Seager's career is too short. Giancarlo Stanton is a weird dude. To have 500 home runs but only 1,800 hits. I'm not really convinced that he deserves to be in the Hall of Fame based on those numbers. But I'm also going to acknowledge the fact that if he'd hit 2,000 hits, it probably wouldn't be a problem for me. Was he just like dog shit the last few years of his career? Oh my lord, yes he was. He was still hitting home runs, though, up until the very end. What I think really hurt Stanton is he had one phenomenal season back when he was with the Marlins. and then the rest of his, and then another great year a couple of years later. But then he's just kind of like, he's good but not great. I don't think he'll fall off the ballot. I want to see some of this logjam get cleared up. So I'm just going to go ahead and keep the thing I really have here. I love Adam Wainwright. I do. And I think he might have a chance to get in the Hall of Fame in real life. But I'm just not convinced he does it in our game. Especially since he's down to 7%. Alright, done. Do I get Manager of the Year again? I'd better. Like, who else in the National League won 102 games, right? Actually, I think a couple of other teams did, but... It might be the Mets, actually. Wait, Washington? Wait. Back the fuck up. Pump the brakes. You went 84 and 78. I don't even think you made the fucking playoffs. Oh, you did, barely. Dude, 2 National League teams won 100 games. Were the Nationals that bad last year? Is this one of those things where we're like, oh wow, the Nationals were a real bad team and he took them to the playoffs? You know what? That's actually kind of impressive. He took them from 100 losses to a playoff spot. I give you some respect for that. Especially because I've just been awesome the whole time, but whatever. Gunnell finished second place for MVP. I'm fine with that. No Pirate even got a vote for Cy Young. I'm fine with that too. I'm not going to begrudge that. Any other Pirates get votes or just Gunnels? Some people voted for Gracia and Walker. That's pretty funny to me. Especially Walker. Man. I cannot get over how the Walker thing turned out for us. That was just... For the AI to be like, I want $8 million. Fine, you're traded. Please sign me back for $1 million. Is just... It's what you live for, right? It's the good stuff. Yeah, I'm not going to bring back Jimenez, for sure. I'm glad he's recovering quickly. I definitely would like to have Whitney back in my rotation. For sure. I don't begrudge Tatis Jr. from winning. A shortstop is more valuable than a right fielder. There's just no disputing that, so... Fair play to him. Alright, free agents are filing. So, I have $13 million for free agents. I have very little for extensions, and that doesn't shock me. So I gotta make that $13 million count. At least I'm not projected to lose money, which means they're not going to be able to touch my my scouting and my player development budgets. I think $22 is a fair ticket price now. Alright. So what do we really want? We really want a center fielder who could lead off for us. In a perfect world, that's what falls into our lap. But what if we can't get that? Cohesion is still not great, but I think it'll be better. I have a lot of temperamental people on my coaching staff. Anyway, Again, if this lineup returned, I wouldn't be too upset about that. But we always want to try to get better if we can. So, I don't think we're going to get the kind of starting pitcher that I might like. And especially bringing back Lejeune Diakudis, that gives us 7 starting pitchers on the roster. Plus Paez in the minors, plus Gadea in the minors. We can look, but I would bet a very large sum of money that we're not going to get a quality starting pitcher for that little. We might, but... Alright. Christian Pache is not what I'm looking for. I'm going to instantly stop. I love his defense. He's not $22 million. I'd pay like $5 million for him, maybe. So let's go ahead and start by looking at all center fielders. And let's do some filtering. Your fielding at CF has to be at least 70 for me to even consider you. So here's what we're looking at. Pache is not going to happen unless his salary demands just crater. Azunares. Good defender. Very good defender, in fact. Not a very impressive hitter, though. Pete Crow Armstrong. Same thing. Drew Waters, a perfect defender. I don't really think he's worth it. So, seeing that these are my pickings in terms of free agency, the question then becomes, do we go back to that trade of Nate Hyde? Because I've already got Greg Middleton, right? If all I care about is defense and my center fielders, I have Middleton. If I want a little bit of pop in my bat, I've got Caleb Hampton. What I don't have is a leadoff hitting capable center fielder. Because I'm not going to put Emilio Sandoval in center field. That's for darn sure. What are we looking at in the starter market? No, I don't care if they can play center field. It really drops off after the first couple of people. And to be quite honest, a guy like Aaron Savali is not worth $14 million. I mean, I could pick up a guy like Matt Manning, but that would be stupid because he's not going to pitch this year. Keyshawn Askew. For $1.5 million, I think he's not the worst risk. But I also don't think anyone's going to grab him. Let's look at relievers. Yeah, this is just, it's not a great free agent market. So that being said, this is not a bad season, therefore, to take on some salary in other ways. And my biggest trade chip And let's consider two angles here. Angle number one. If I trade Nate Hyde, I can replace him. I've got multiple relievers who just need a roster spot to really shine. Like, could Kevin Stern be the next Nate Hyde? I don't see why he couldn't. We've got options in the bullpen. And I really need a center fielder that I can trust to get on base. So, I am going to indeed trade Nate Hyde, but I'm going to upgrade my considerations here. I'm not saying any of these relievers are as good as Hyde. I'm saying that they're almost as good as Hyde, and we just have bigger needs elsewhere. And I feel a hell of a lot better about a team with a Caleb Hampton and a Greg Middleton as backup center fielders than as starting center fielders. I don't trust Guzman to play center. I damn sure don't trust Newstrom. Sandoval might be a good left fielder someday. That day is not right now. I think he goes to the minors to start the season. So that's where we're at right now. Oh, Jeremy Van Sant, my dude. We need to get you some improvements there. You might have already been lapped by Pete Richards, sadly. You have been lapped, actually. What if I trade Van Sant? What does Van Sant have that Richards doesn't? He's a better first baseman. They could be about the same when they're finished developing. But I'm going to start by offering Nate Hyde. I mean, you're going to look at veterans, but I deliberately want center fielders. Give it to me. Dwayne Smith is not a center fielder. I'm just looking for numbers right now. Okay. Casey Moore? No, because remember, on base we're on an on-base profile. He is not that. You're a bad center fielder, otherwise I'd take you in a moment. I love his offensive profile. I mean, he's a good defender. And he's kind of okay at getting on base, but I can afford to be choosy, so I will be choosy. No. That price tag is way too high. Rivera's good. But again, I'm trying to get a very specific skill set. If I have to settle, I'll settle. I just hope that I don't have to settle. Nope. Oh, hell no. Soriano could be the guy. He's a good defender, good plate discipline, doesn't strike out much. He might be the guy. I'm going to keep looking, though. Man. This is a pretty yikes market. Gross. I like Soriano. I just don't want to give up Nate Hyde for him. So what if I do this and I drop off Hyde and I see who else you might take? No, you pretty much it would have to be Hyde. Or Hampton. I would trade Hampton for him, actually. So I will. Can I get you to throw in anyone else by chance? No, that's fine. I mean, that's not really going to make a huge deal at the end of the day. You're a center fielder. But he fits our offensive need at the very least. And I think he could handle being a leadoff guy without too much trouble. What about trading Kazono? He's wrecked. He always gets hurt. I kind of think we trade him. Because defensively, I've got Guidry. If all I care about is defense at second base, I've got Guidry. I don't really have any highly ranked second base prospects, but I've got enough decent defenders there that I could cobble together a second base season. What are you locked in left field? Oh, because I don't want you pitching anymore, I think. That's all right. Oh, how did Andre Sevilla do his first season in A ball? Well enough that I think he's earned a promotion to high A. Eric Martin is going right to Double A. I forgot to check that at the end of the season. That's on me. Josh Steele could be special. It's just going to take a while to see how he develops over time. I like a lot of things about Kazono. I really do. I think he's a very good second baseman. I think he's got a pretty potent bat for the position. Can we do better? Because I'm just going to make this ultra plain. I'm not bringing him back when he hits arbitration. Which I think will be next year. I'm not bringing him back. Not at $6 million. Unless he has just a phenomenal season this year, which he might. I kind of wish Soriano was like a tiny bit better. I'd feel a little bit better about handing him the keys to the offense. But we didn't give up much. And I think he'll be productive. And turning over only one roster spot is fine to me. And plus it makes the rest of the lineup better because then I can move other people around. Yeah. I think that's our big move this season. I can promote Middleton. He can be a backup center fielder. Sandoval can get a full year in the minors. Yeah, that's what we're going to be talking about. All right. I am comfortable with what's going on here. I wouldn't say no to another starter, specifically with the eye to replacing Burr. But we'll see what happens. Let's go ahead and just not sign anyone in free agency this year. It feels weird, but no. I'm basically keeping Newstroem in the hopes that a DH will eventually be announced for the National League. If nothing else, he's a pretty good bat off the bench, and I'll happily take him as a pinch hitter. And we're just going to jump right to the Rule 5. We might get a decent player, too, in the Rule 5, now that I think about it. All right. I don't want Walters. I like getting a good second base prospect in the system. Let's do it. I'm a little bit sad about losing Gadea because I thought he had a good bit of promise, but we just need middle infield prospects, even if they don't pan out. All right. So first of all, I have 39 spots on the 40-man. Anybody that I could lose if I don't put them on the 40-man that I really care about. I don't want to lose Kevin Sturm, but I think that's it. I'm going to super quick try to trade Perrault here. Just because I have a feeling he's the kind of player someone else would take. Well, he's actually on their 40-man. He's actually eligible in the Rule 5. Man, I'm not going to trade a Rule 5 eligible player for a Rule 5 eligible player. That's just dumb. I'll tell you what. If someone doesn't take him, I will. Without hesitation. Who's Cal Raleigh? He's a bad catcher. That's fine. Hey, you're exactly the kind of pitcher I'm looking for. Done. What? Oh, you know what? I have my 40 man is full. That's right. Yeah, Burdette can be taken. I don't really care if somebody wants him. I want Polo, damn it. There we go. And that's it, really. I mean, I can at least go another round and then see if there's any... Oh, just do that. Are there any decent infielders on offer? I kind of like Mario Gonzalez, actually, because he's got a pretty decent offensive skill set. But I don't think I feel compelled enough to do it unless there's somebody I can waive. Like, Anderson's never going to be able to hit, but he's... No, Anderson's also not great in range. So, yeah, I will waive him, and I will also pick up, what's his face? Mario Gonzalez. That works. And that's it for me in this draft. Okay. I'm not going to do the World Baseball Classic again. I just don't think it's that interesting to me. It was cool to do it the one time, but I just don't think it's that interesting to do it a second or third time. No, we're basically counting on our existing lineup to produce again. And I see no reason why they can't. A certain amount of turnover is healthy for a team. I'm sorry the fans aren't happy about it, but I wasn't going to pay him $13 million a year. So, you know, yeah. And then neither one of you got taken, so I'll just send you both to AAA. You better vote in Ichiro this time, you dumb voters. I refuse to accept that. No. You know what? I don't like doing this, but I'm gonna do it. There we go. That had to be wrong. That is a wrong that had to be righted. I'm now turning off commission mode. I'm not in the Eastern time zone. I'm in the Central time zone. There we go. I guess the Pirates are in the Eastern time zone. But anyway. Sorry. I know that was abusing my power, but I think it was highly justified because there is no way in hell that Ichiro doesn't get elected to the Hall of Fame. In fact, I'm going to go so bold say he probably gets in on the first ballot. I don't think it's particularly close, either. Damn, Aaron Savali got paid. Good for him. I decline all of your jobs. I thought the Japan. Well, thanks. I thought it might have been a Japan, but now it's the Japan. So. All right. Let's crank up our budget for player development. Oops, I think I put $360 million. That was kind of yikes. There we go. And let's bump up the scouting budget the extra couple million too. There we go. Now, there's a chance we could get somebody injured in the World Cup of Baseball or the World Baseball Classic, whatever you want to call it. I sure hope we don't, but we'll see what happens. If Garrett Cole gets a career-ending injury in the World Cup of Baseball, I would cry. I would be very sad. And now that I said him what happened, it probably will. Like, he's, like, jogging to first base after getting a hit, and, like, his face is, like, torn off or something. Ricky, I think it's time for you to go to the minors. You're gonna get promoted soon anyway. So, welcome to the minor leagues. He would have been promoted anyway. I just promoted him a day early. Alright, friends. I do want to try to lock up Sanchez if we can, but he's also 37, so I don't think that's really a priority. Necessarily. Oh shit. Tian, his contract is coming up. I don't like that. I don't know which contract makes me happier. The one for Tian, or the one for Walker, or the one for Gunnels? Or Gillen, where, you know, I'm getting a 3-win player, a 4-win player for $5 million because Washington is paying the rest of his salary. That's just glorious. All right. How did Pete Richards do in... Oh, Pete Richards didn't even play in AAA yet. That's fine. Eric Martin, I'm going to go ahead and let you get some spring training reps. I'm going to do the same thing for Salix Brown. And I think I will let Pete Richards get some... And Danny Cedeno all get some reps. I want to see how Avila does, but he is definitely on a short list for possible promotion in a year or 3. Okay. Oh, right. Yeah, that's something somebody had brought up. The fact that my My Dominican Summer League team needs ghost players. That's right. That's not what I meant. There you go. And then give me DSL. Rules. Options. Financials. Oh, I guess you can't actually set ghost players just for one minor league team. Can you? You cannot. Oh, well. I don't really care. I just have to make sure that my good rookies end up on that team and not the Dominican Summer League team. As we were, let's go ahead and sim through the month of March. Oh. Because I'm on the other Pirates, it shows the thing there. That's bad news for Ben Manning. He could have made the opening day roster. You don't know. It always seems like the one thing I'm always looking for in OOTP is a great leadoff hitter. It seems like that's a common denominator across all of my franchises. Mr. Izquierdo, I think you're an amazing dude. But the thing is, every time I try to promote you, you're just like, no, I don't want to be promoted. I will absolutely offer you a promotion to AA and see if you take it this time. Yeah, see, he doesn't want to get promoted. So I guess I just need to just offer you an extension and see if that satisfies you. Oh, dude, that is rough as shit. Man, maybe I cut bait on him at the right time. They'd invited him to spring training and everything. Sucks to be them. All right. Okay, Mr. Zach Whitney, I see you used your injury rehab time productively. Tian got a little better. Nate Hyde slips a little bit, but that's fine. Some of the Sheen calls what comes off of Pete Richards because I talked him up. Goss is getting to the point where he's probably going to start like really slipping badly. Salix Brown got some improvement. That's good to see. That's very good to see, actually. Alright, games are all done. And I never set the rosters. Oh my god, that's why so many people got hurt. I'm an idiot. I am an absolute bloody moron. Oh my goodness. I'm so sorry, players. Ben and Manning is going to go to the DL to start the season. The IL, sorry. All right, Matos, Tion, really, bro. I'm going to send Burr to the minors. I'm going to send Paez to the minors. I'm going to send Alburn to the minors, I think. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, it gives me 6 starters. What's that bring me for pitchers? I still got to get rid of then 5 to 6 relievers. Why does Zach Whitney look like crap? Game. According to this, he should be rated a 59. Why is he showing here? Oh, because you'd randomly made him a reliever. Well, Zach Whitney is definitely going to be a starter on this team. Yeah. Who else goes to the minors for sure? Sturm to the minors. I have a lot of relievers. I'd love to demote Manoa, but I don't think he'll take it. Vasquez can improve quite a bit. Martin can get a lot better. I am going to send Martin back to Double-A just because he's never pitched there yet. So that'll be one thing off our radar. I don't really need... No, I actually do need Critch quite badly, now that I think about it. Brown to the minors. Rosales to the minors. What does that put me at? 13 pitchers. Perfect. Real question here. No, Whitney is actually still the better pitcher than Alburn. We'll just see if he can get back to pitching shape here. I think I give Lejeune Diakudis one of the rotation spots and let Palau be a long reliever, emergency starter, but I don't think he'll be there long. Okay. I got to get down to 26. Richards and Van Sant both go to the minors. Bradshaw to the minors. Sheehan to the minors. Brown to the minors. Guzman to the minors. Sandoval to the minors, 100%. I want to let him play every day in AAA and improve. I got to get rid of one more player. Oh, damn, Soriano got better. Like, a lot better. Good work, my dudes. Very good work. I've got too many infielders, but I don't want to waive Burden and possibly lose him. I think I'll just go ahead and return Gonzalez. I don't really feel a desperate need to keep him now. Although, I do need middle infield prospects. There's probably better ways to get them. So I'm going to go ahead and just return him to the Rangers. And that gets us to 26. Okay. Ricky Perrault, number 3 prospect. Nice. We're actually rated 4th overall. That's actually pretty good. We got a scouting discovery, an international free agent signing, and then a guy we just traded for. I really like Brown, and I think if we do end up trading Kazono, that Brown is going to take the second base job. I think he's a really good fit for our roster. Alright, let's get dangerous. No, wait a minute, that's a different thing. And the ratings of batting. So let's do the easy stuff first. Soriano leads off. Gunnels bats 3rd. And Gossett's cleanup. So that's all done. And there the really easy decisions end. Hang on a tick. You know what? I do like Gracia hitting 5th, actually. Because Goss has a really good batting eye, which means that even if he doesn't get on base, even if he doesn't hit a home run, rather, he's still going to get on base. Or do we... No, I'm not going to have back Rob. I'm not going to bat him 2nd. That would be ridiculous. Kazono bats 2nd. Because someone has to. Then Walker. Then Gillen. What the heck? No, I missed Gillen. And then Ollie Sanchez is the catcher. I mean, I could get really funky and have Goss bat 2nd. I just don't like the idea of him batting 2nd just because it's going to waste his ability to hit homers. Like, a homer is a homer, right? I mean, I could bat him 2nd, move up Gracia, move up Walker, have Kazono hit later in the order. You know what? I'm going to do it. I didn't expect that, but I just think it makes really good sense to have a really tremendous on-base guy hitting 2nd, who can also potentially drive in Soriano, assuming he gets on base, which I'm hoping he would. I like it. I like it a lot. Sorry, my ear is itchy. One moment. That's better. Okay, backups. Easy call. Adam Shepard is going to be the backup catcher. Because Sanchez is 37, I do want Shepard starting once every 10 games. For sure. Backup at first base. I don't really have a good one. I guess Newstrom would be a decent backup at first just because he's bad everywhere. Guidry is most definitely my second base backup. And he's also going to be my defensive sub. Best third base backup is probably also Guidry. It's honestly Guidry for everything. And then Burden is the second tier backup for every position. No, you're going to be a never. I really don't want Burden starting unless he has to. Whatever happened to that? Who is that one player we had that was actually like really stupidly good at center field, even though he was like a shortstop normally? Or am I thinking of the other franchise? Maybe I'm thinking of the other franchise. Anyway, Greg Middleton's going to back up at center. And Greg Middleton's also going to be my defensive sub in center. If we really need a great center field performance, we'll turn to him. And then Dalen Newstrom's going to back up at both the corners. Because he's never going to get even marginally acceptable if he doesn't get the odd rep in one of the corners. Dalen Newstrom is my pinch hitter. Probably followed by Middleton. And then Burden. Pinch runner is going to be Middleton and Guidry. And I'm just going to go ahead and copy this over. I don't think any of my players has a giant hole in their swing. I know Gunnels doesn't. Like, he's not quite as good, but he's so damn good overall that even when he's not good, he's still amazing. Okay. Pasty McPasterson. That's all done. If there's anything on this roster that gives me a slight pause, I don't love our outfield situation. I think we're putting an awful lot of pressure on Newstrom. And while I know he can handle the hitting part of it, I don't know if he can handle the fielding part of it. But he's such a good hitter that I feel like we have to have him on the roster. The dude hit 500 in the minor leagues. That's insane. He does like country music, but nobody's perfect. Okay, pitching. 5-man rotation. I'm going to go by ratings. Matos is the ace. I don't think there's any question about that. I would love to see him actually get a full Major League season. But in terms of raw talent, forget about it. There's nobody on my roster that's a better starter. Next up, we have Tian. And then it gets interesting. Actually, it doesn't get interesting, because then it's Romo. Between Whitney, Polo, or Polov, maybe, Paulo, I'm not sure, I don't know the guy, and Lejeune Diakudis, I need to come up with 2 starters. And I think it's going to be Whitney for sure as the 4th starter. And then I think I'm going to hand the ball to Lejeune Diakudis as the 5th starter. And make Polau our emergency starter long reliever. The problem is that Polau is so much like our other players, which is that he's going to give up homers, but he's going to strike out so many people that you don't care. Um, and that's fine. That's amazing. But because of that, I don't really feel that it would be bright to just throw him in against the Wolves. So that is the starting rotation set. Ramon Gonzalez was reliever of the year. I'm going to go back to making him the closer. I'm going to make Blue the setup guy. Like, I mean, I don't get how anyone would not make Gonzalez their closer. And, oh my lord, am I worried about his salary. He's going to want a lot of money. Without question. Critch, you get another easy role. You're going to be my anti-lefty guy. You're also going to do some middle relief. Alright. So, we're down to Manoah, Madero, Santos, and Hyde. Hyde is quite literally middle relief, long relief. And I want you to burn out his arm, because that's what he's here for. He's here to just pitch all the innings that someone might want to pitch. Manoah is going to be long relief, middle relief. And then Santos and Maderos are just going to be generic middle relief. I wouldn't mind a second lefty out of the bullpen. I just don't think I have anybody that could serve that role, do I? Is there anyone in the high minors who could be... I have a lot of righties and very few lefties. Oh, it was Mike Sheehan. That was the guy I was thinking of. You know what? It never occurred to me to consider giving him the starting job in center field. I really wish it had occurred to me, because I think I might have considered it. Oh well. We'll see what Sheehan is up to, and if there's an injury, he'll be... Cedeno isn't a lefty, is he? No. 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 Wow, I have like no... Mike Sears is the next up lefty if someone got hurt. That's kind of yikes. I need to get some more lefties, I think. You know what? I'm going to demote Middleton. I'm sorry. Sheehan is too valuable. Because Sheehan also happens to be a pretty decent hitter, which means Sheehan makes for an excellent pinch hitter off the bench. And yeah, we're just going to do that. And then Sheehan can also back up at the other positions, but he would be a never at those. And then, who else is... Some of y'all can throw awfully damn hard. I guess if Jordan Walker needed an extra career, I could make him do a reliever too. I'm not gonna, but he could do it. Anyway, batting ratings, and I'm just quickly trying to see. I guess Burden becomes my number 2 pinch runner now. Like, how often are you going to need 2 pinch runners in a game? Not very often, but then we're going to copy both. Yeah, I completely forgot about Sheehan. I still think we made the right call getting Soriano, but Sheehan is so good as a super sub that we have to have him on this roster, I think. He really adds an extra layer of depth that I was concerned about just a few moments ago. I mean, he's from Lawrence, Kansas, but nobody's perfect. And I think, friends, that's going to conclude this episode. A lot hasn't changed, but what has changed has been pretty huge. We've got a brand new center fielder leadoff guy. We've got a potential new starter in Perrault. But this is really just a season to just consolidate what we'd earned last season. I think Goss batting second is going to have very interesting ramifications on the season. It's either going to get to the point where people pitch to Goss to avoid Gunnels, which would be pretty silly, or he's just going to make the whole lineup better. I feel a lot better with Goss hitting second than Kazono or Gillen hitting second. We are a little thin at a few positions. I think we've got reasonable backups at most positions, but if we lost one of our big bats, we don't really have a big bat in the minors that's almost ready to go. I mean, Edgar Guzman would certainly be the first person I'd call in if we lost a corner outfielder. Just, I wouldn't even hesitate. He would be my first choice. We've got a tiny bit of depth at starter. I'm not going to say it's amazing. But we're at least 8 men deep in the rotation. 9, because I forgot about Burr. If we need to start getting into 10th starters, though, I think we're going to really have some issues. This would be a great season to get some extra health out of our pitchers. Lejeune Diacutis is a huge question mark now. He lost a lot of his control over the offseason. And you know what? Maybe he'll sort it out, but maybe he won't. That's really hard to say. I think our bullpen is great. And we have lots and lots of talented relievers just waiting for a job. If any of them fall short. I feel pretty good about catcher. I feel really good about most of my starters. Kazono and Gillen are the two biggest question marks hitting-wise. And they're both good enough defenders that I'm willing to accept a little bit less in terms of hitting. Did Gillen get a Gold Glove last year? He did not. What a loser. I'm joking. But yeah, I am reasonably happy with this team. We didn't address our biggest issue, which is we still don't have a big game starter. But I'm hoping, and maybe this is a very foolish hope since he hasn't done it yet, that Matos turns in the season he's capable of. That he comes out, gives us 30 quality starts, and just dominates over the course of the season. I think that would be an incredibly huge boost for this team. And if he doesn't, we're going to have issues. Because this is definitely a team that's good enough to make the playoffs year in and year out. I don't think it's a World Series team if we don't get some pretty big improvements from some of our players. Or some of our starters. I did want to make sure that I had the 100 pitch count set. I did. Great. But yeah, we're going to see what happens. I wish we'd been able to pick up another starter. Like a great starter who improved ourselves. Let's really quickly check the waiver wire and see if there's like a starting pitcher that I've just missed. Gross. And let's also check free agency. I don't mind Chorizo. I think he's actually a pretty talented starting pitcher. And I definitely would trust him over Locutus. Hmm. Yeah, I see you, dude. And absolutely not. You're going to give me a second year. But I will promise you a shot in the starting rotation. Dude, I'm the only person talking to you right now. I want that second year. Otherwise, I'm wasting my money. So yeah, if you want to be like that, I will happily turn to, say, a Zach McCambley and offer him a minor league deal. Nah, I'm good enough in pitching. If he's going to be a jerk like that, then whatever. I'm going to offer you a minor league deal. I'm going to offer you a minor league deal. There we go. And I think that's going to do it for this episode. I will real quick check the waiver wire to see if there's anybody outstanding. Would I want Drew Dowd over another righty in the pen just to get another lefty? I don't think I would. There's not like secretly like mega stars, are there? That people are trying to sneak through? Not really. Okay. That shall conclude our episode then. I hope you all have been enjoying. Please remember to comment down below to let me know if you do actually want to see me play meaningful games. With the understanding it's going to make the videos longer, so I might need to break up an episode into 2 weeks. So that's really the question. Because I'm not going to do like a 4-hour video. So would you rather have me play elimination games with the possible risk of jumping over to a second week if needed? Or do you want me to just go ahead and do just the flat, just keep doing what I have been doing? So do share your thoughts in the comments. If you're not subscribed to the channel already, consider subscribing. And until next time, this has been Indian. Thank you for watching, and I bid you good day.